Hello and welcome to another episode of Odds and Ends. For this episode, we'll be talking about Fireblight resistance in apples. Fireblight is a particularly devastating disease that can actually wipe out the trees themselves, not just the fruit. This is unlike most other diseases in apples. There's been extensive research into Fireblight resistance in various apples, mostly those derived from the Big Five: Macintosh, Cox Orange Pippin, Jonathan, Red Delicious, and Golden Delicious. There are, however, a few papers dedicated to looking at a broader range of genetic diversity for Fireblight resistance. The first one is from Dr. Vincent Buss, and the second was written by Dr. S.A. Kostic. The circumstances for infection and testing were different for each test and each experiment, but both are very informative in terms of information regarding Fireblight resistance within various progenitor lines. Let's get started. The paper by Dr. Kostic was written in the Department of Horticulture in Washington State University. To further develop breeding strategies, various potential parents were tested for Fireblight resistance. This was done by obtaining a very virulent strain found within a sample of a gala that had been infected with an antibiotic-resistant strain of Fireblight. This strain was called EA153. It was obtained from a gala in 1989. The trees were inoculated and the reactions were rated between highly susceptible to highly resistant and everything in between. And the resistance level was measured by measuring the lesion length of the infection. The longer the lesion, the less resistant the cultivar is. These are then statistically analyzed through various software algorithms. The results were quite unique. Arlet and a substrain of Gala called Aurora Golden was found to be moderately resistant. Ben Davis was found to be moderately resistant, which is a founding cultivar. Several of the co-op cultivars were also found to be moderately resistant, as was Red Delicious and Cortland. Pitmaster Pineapple is found to be susceptible, as was Cosmic Crisp. The most resistant strain was one called Snow Sweet, a more modern cultivar. What was most unique, however, was that pretty much all the Minnesota cultivars studied, which includes Haralson, Honeycrisp, and Keepsake, were moderately resistant to Fireblight. Sweet 16 was the exception to this rule, however. The common theme amongst all of these cultivars is that they all have Duchess of Oldenburg within their pedigree, one of the founding cultivars of the heirloom lineages. Duchess of Oldenburg, likewise, is moderately resistant to Fireblight. This may indicate that Duchess of Oldenburg is the origin point of this resistance, which would be great news for future breeding efforts. Another experiment was done by Dr. Vincent Buss of the Horticulture and Food Research Institute of New Zealand. As part of a separate experiment, open-pollinated seeds of a myriad of heirloom cultivars were planted and grown out to be tested as possible breeding parents for future generations. However, in the years 1998 and 1999, there was a severe Fireblight outbreak that quickly devolved into an epidemic that spread across all of Hawke's Bay. This includes the Research Institute, and most of these specimens were infected with it. Seeing an opportunity, Dr. Buss tested out these cultivars to see how many of them were resistant to Fireblight by measuring the lesion length. These were then averaged out to see how resistant these cultivars are, and listed them from greatest resistance to least resistance. And here are the results. Wycombe Pippin progeny were found to be highly resistant to Fireblight, equal in resistance to Pitmaster Pineapple and Pyroglamis. These were the top 3 contenders for Fireblight resistance. Below that were several wild species, which represent ranks 4 to 8. Below that would be Fenouil Rouge, Autumn Pearmain, Fossipole, Nesme Steve, Pepelo, Darcy Spice, Hebinal, and Aromatic de Vera. And this would be the subline labeled 92. In the subline labeled 93, seedlings of various cultivars from a different genetic lineage, by their genetic technology, was also found to have great variability in Fireblight resistance. Blanchard ranked number 1, and Violet ranked number 3. Vignolet Gris, and an experimental variety ranked 4th and 5th, respectively. London Pippin and White Paradise ranked 6 and 7 respectively, and Northwestern Greening and Rosemary Russet ranked 8 to 9 respectively. Now all the above cultivars are actually based on statistical data, statistically identical, even with the family mean score, which is to say that the progeny of these cultivars are highly resistant to Fireblight. There's also another subline called 94, which consists entirely of wild species. Their resistance level is higher than even 92 or 93 sublines. However, and this is a big however, these are all varieties locked behind government paywalls, and are only available to research associates in universities and government and NGOs. So you're not getting your hands on these guys. But you can get your hands on most of the cultivars listed before. Within the realm of Canada, Wycombe Pippin, Pimescent Pineapple, Autumn Pearmain, Darcy Spice, Vignolet Gris, Northwestern Greening, Rosemary Russet, and Violet are all available within Canada relatively easily. These would be good cultivars to test out for Fireblight resistance in an amateur breeding project within Canada. Within the framework of Canada, the Duchess of Oldenburg, Ben Davis, Dolgo, and most of the lines are available for sale within Canada as trees within specialty heritage nurseries. If you want to breed apples within Canada, you would have easy access to these cultivars, comparatively speaking, of course. I'll put some links in the description below to showcase where you can get such cultivars. These will be below the sources. And that about covers everything. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. If you really enjoyed it and think you can donate, you can do so at Buy Me a Coffee, link in the description below. Thank you for watching.